So hello and welcome back to the third tutorial on Moviesandbox. And I suggest, if you haven't done so, to watch the first two tutorials because we're kind of building up on the stuff that we learned in the first two tutorials. And in this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to create a very, very basic scene. We have a character, we make him walk to a certain point, and then we'll place a camera and have the camera follow the character during his journey to where we said we want him to go. In order to create a character, we'll first navigate to a spot where we feel like it would be convenient to place it. And as I said in the previous tutorial, I could either click on this button here to change into navigation mode and then fly around using the W, A, S, and D keys, crouch and jump, which is C and Control, or I can simply press the Alt key once and then I switch into fly mode again, which is basically what I'm going to do during the rest of the tutorial because it's so much more convenient for me to do. So I'll just go somewhere here where I have a good overview of the situation. I hit Alt again to get out of the navigation view. And now we're going to place a very, very simple Unreal Tournament character, like the first one that we have here, which is Malcolm. And then I just clicked on his portrait, and now I have him on my mouse, and I can place him anywhere I want to. Probably over here would be good right now. And after I placed him, you see that a couple of things changed, actually. First of all, you didn't only place the character, but you also placed this small icon here, which is a so-called root note. This is the beginning of the list of actions that your character will be performing during this scene. Now, these icons here can be moved around the setup space by pressing the left mouse button. Then you have them on your mouse, and then you can place them somewhere. I usually like to place them somewhere over here where I have a good overview, because we'll be adding things down here, things that our character will do. And I just release it by clicking the left mouse button again. Now, one other thing that changed is this small green rectangle appeared over here in our mini map. And I can drag this rectangle around, and as you can see, the only thing that really changes is the position of our root node changes. And basically the minimap represents our workspace. This is like we have a huge table, but we can only see the stuff that's within the green rectangle. So if I drag this around, I can go to a very different part of my workspace, where I have some other stuff, some other logic, some other commands going on. And that way I can organize myself in more complex scenes a lot better. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about this character here. What you can do by pressing the left mouse button is you just simply select him. But if you press the right mouse button on the character, there's a small menu appearing that allows you to modify the character's position, rotation, scale the character, set an input channel for lip syncing, set different poses on different buttons on a gamepad, or set a puppeteering channel. Now, these three things here are reserved for a more advanced tutorial, but these three things here are something that we're going to use right now. In fact, I'm going to click on this move button over here, and now I can move the character around the map by just moving the mouse. I'll actually move the character somewhere over here. And with the rotate button, it's the same thing. I click on the rotate button, then I can rotate my character, and as you can see, he goes all weird and completely crazy. And it's really hard to control the rotation with the mouse. And because of that, it's possible to actually stick to one axis every time you move or rotate your character. And the way you do that is when you press the W, S, A, and D buttons, you see that they're actually attached to the mouse cursor. So they have the same functionality as moving the mouse. Now when I press the rotate button again, and I press the A and D buttons, you see that I rotate him on one axis, and if I press the W and S button, you see that I rotate him on a different axis. So that way you can actually rotate your characters much more precisely. You can also move them much more precisely because you're actually moving around axes and you're not moving with your mouse. Another thing that is a bit problematic is scaling. I would not suggest to scale your pawn because it's something that I'm still working on, and I'm sure that it will be addressed in a future version. Right now, I would just try to keep away from it unless you need to, and then you'll just have to experiment a little bit on your own. Right, so we want our character to walk over here. So what I need to do is I need to create a target, and I create this target from the props menu by clicking on this target and then just placing it like I placed my character. I'll just place it over here, and so this basically marks the spot that I want my character to walk to. Now the next thing that I need is the command to tell my character to walk there, and I can find all the commands that a character can execute in the node menu, which is the one here. And the command I'm interested in right now is the move command. Now I click on the move icon here, and then I'll move this somewhere around here, and a new icon appears, a new node as we want to call it, which says move to. So this is the command, this is the target, this is the character, and the only thing that we need to do is we need to connect everything. And the way you connect commands to a character is you use the character's root node, and you just connect everything that you want the character to do with the root node. So I move the mouse over this small black box over here, click once with the left mouse button, and then I have a line on my mouse. And I will move this line down here to this little black box, and when I click again, the connection has been made. Now this seems complicated, but you'll soon realize that it makes a lot of sense, it's a lot of fun, and it opens up a lot of possibilities. But for now, we're just very happy that we made this connection. And so now the character knows that it should execute this command, but the command doesn't really know what to do right now. It knows that it should move the character, but it needs to know where to. So every time you right-click on a node, a small context menu appears with properties of this node, where you can, assign different things, set up different ways the node and command works, and so on. The first one here of the move to node is the isWalking property. Now the normal state of an Unreal character is running. If I click on isWalking, you see that it changes from false to true. And that means that instead of running, my character will actually take some more time and walk towards the node. And actually this is what I want to do here, so I'll leave this to true. And the next thing is the really important part here. It's the move target. Once I click on the move target button here, the screen turns bright, and I can now move my mouse over the target actor and click on the target actor. The screen goes dark again to show me that he accepted my selection, and if I move my mouse over the move target button, you see that MSB target actor has been filled in here, and this is the move target now. Now if you want your character to look at a certain direction when he's moving towards the spot that you marked with the target, then you can use the view target. Now right now we don't really want that. So I'll leave this to you to experiment with. If you want to, just create another target and set it at the view target, and then see how the character behaves. But for right now, we're really satisfied with how this shapes up. And I'll just deselect everything by clicking someplace. And now we're basically set. Our character can move to the target. Now all we need to do now is play the scene. And as you might have noticed, there's no play button anywhere. That's why it's really simple to play out a scene in Moviesandbox, and that's by hitting the space key. And I'll just do that right now. I'll just press the space key, and you see that our character is nicely walking towards the spot that we marked him for. Now, when I hit space again, we do a rewind. Our character will go back to its initial position, and everything is basically set to 0, and now we can start from here to build something more interesting